If you've ever been told that flushing an old transmission is a death sentence, they're not completely wrong. I've seen transmissions fail within 500 miles after a flush, and the repair bill? Anywhere from $3,500 to over $8,000. And here's the part most drivers don't realize. Those failures don't happen because of the flush itself. They happen because of what was already hiding inside. By the end of this video, you'll understand what really happens when you flush a 250,000-mile transmission, which fluids actually protect it, and the one mistake that quietly destroys transmissions right after a service. And near the end, I'll show you something we found inside this unit that completely changes how you should think about lifetime fluid. We didn't just talk about this, we tested it. A high-mileage automatic transmission, just over 250,000 miles. Never flushed. Only one partial fluid change in its entire life. Shifts were acceptable. A little delayed. Slight slip under load. Nothing catastrophic. So we decided to do what most people are afraid of. A full fluid exchange using a machine flush, followed by a filter replacement and pan inspection. What happened next surprised even me. Best to worst decisions after a 250,000-mile flush. Let's break this down like a mechanic would, from the smartest moves to the ones that quietly kill transmissions. Number 9. Best. Using a high-stability fluid. AMSOIL Signature Series ATF. This is where we started. We chose AMSOIL Signature Series Multi-Vehicle ATF for the flush. Why? Because at 250,000 miles, your transmission doesn't need just fluid. It needs thermal stability and friction consistency. I've disassembled transmissions that ran this fluid beyond 100,000 miles. And the clutch pack still had visible friction material. That's rare. During our test, fluid temperature stabilized about 8 to 12 degrees Fahrenheit lower under load. Shift timing improved slightly within the first 50 miles. No immediate signs of slip or flare. Oil analysis from similar builds has shown lower oxidation rates, better viscosity retention after extended heat cycles. But here's the honest part. No fluid can fix worn clutch packs. If your transmission is already slipping badly, this won't save it. But for borderline units like ours, it buys time, and sometimes a lot of it. Number 8. Doing a controlled flush, not a power shock. Most people think a flush is violent. It doesn't have to be. We used a controlled exchange machine, not a pressure spike system. That means fluid is replaced gradually. No sudden debris dislodging. No pressure shock to seals. Most mechanics won't tell you this. But the real danger isn't flushing. It's how aggressively it's done. In our case, no sudden pressure spikes. No debris surge. Filter caught minimal particles post-flush. And this is where things get interesting, because what we found in the pan told a different story. Number 7. Replacing the filter. Immediately after. After the flush, we dropped the pan. What we saw is exactly why this step matters. A thin layer of clutch material, some fine metallic dust. Nothing excessive, but enough. I've seen people skip this step to save $50 to $100. That's a mistake, because all that suspended debris, it doesn't disappear. It circulates. In our case, new filter improved fluid flow. Line pressure stabilized slightly. Shifts became more consistent after 100 miles. This is one of those small steps that quietly extends transmission life. Number 6. Resetting adaptation, if applicable. Modern transmissions learn over time. Shift timing, pressure, engagement, it's all adaptive. But here's the problem. At 250,000 miles, the system has adapted to worn fluid and worn components. When you introduce fresh fluid with different friction properties, those learned values can become wrong. We performed a basic adaptation reset, and within the next 200 miles, shifts became smoother. Less hesitation between gears. Reduced torque converter shutter. Most drivers skip this. Most shops don't even mention it. But this is where things get serious. Because if you don't reset adaptation, the transmission can actually shift worse after a flush. Number 5. Monitoring temperature. After the flush. This is something almost nobody does. But after a flush, temperature tells you everything. We monitored idle temperature, highway temperature, load conditions, before the flush. Temps peaked around 210 degrees Fahrenheit under load. After, dropped to about 198 to 202 degrees Fahrenheit. That's significant because every 20 degrees Fahrenheit increase in transmission temperature can cut fluid life in half. Lower temps mean less oxidation, more stable viscosity, better clutch engagement. But here's the part that caught my attention. The fluid looked clean. The shifts improved. Temperatures dropped. Everything seemed perfect. Number 4, worst, assuming it's fixed after the flush. This is the first dangerous mistake. After 200 to 300 miles, our test vehicle felt better. Smoother shifts, less hesitation. But internally, nothing magically reversed. I've disassembled transmissions that felt fine after a flush, only to find worn clutch packs, hardened seals, valve body wear. A flush improves fluid performance, not mechanical wear. So if you treat it like a repair, you're setting yourself up for failure. Number 3, mixing the wrong fluid type. This one kills transmissions quietly. We've tested cases where people mixed Dexron 6 with older Dexron 3 systems, multi-vehicle fluid with CVT fluid, incorrect viscosity blends, and the result: delayed shifts, increased slip, long-term clutch damage. Even small differences in friction modifiers matter. That's why we stuck with a fully compatible multi-vehicle ATF from a reputable brand. Most people don't realize transmission fluid isn't just lubrication. It's part of the shifting mechanism itself. Number 2, flushing without knowing the transmission condition. This is where things go wrong fast. If your transmission already has severe slipping, burnt fluid smell, metal flakes in the pan, a flush can push it over the edge. Not because it's harmful, but because it removes the old fluid that was compensating for worn components. I've seen transmissions fail within days after a flush in this condition, and the customer always says the same thing: it was fine before the service. But the truth is, it wasn't fine. It was just hiding the problem. Now here's where things took a turn. At around 300 miles after the flush, everything still felt stable. Shifts were clean, temperature stayed lower, no warning signs. But the next thing shocked me. Number 1, ignoring what the old fluid was actually doing. When we analyzed the fluid we drained out, it told a very different story. Dark, oxidized, loaded with clutch material. But here's the part most people don't understand. That worn-out fluid was increasing friction artificially. It was helping worn clutch packs still grab. When we replaced it with clean, high-performance fluid, we removed that extra grip. And about 600 miles in, we started to see it. Slight flare between second and third. Occasional delayed engagement when cold. Light slip under moderate throttle. Nothing catastrophic, but clearly, something changed. I've disassembled transmissions that behaved exactly like this after a flush. What you find inside is always similar. Clutch packs worn thinner than spec. Glazing on friction material. Minor valve body wear. The fresh fluid exposes it. It doesn't cause it. What happened inside after 1,000 miles? We didn't stop at the flush. We kept driving. And by 1,000 miles, here's what we observed. Shifts remained mostly stable. Slight flare didn't worsen. No harsh slipping or failure. Fluid still clean. No burnt smell. That's important because it tells you something critical. This transmission was worn, but not failing. And the flush didn't kill it. It revealed its true condition. Internal inspection. What we found. After 1,000 miles, we dropped the pan a second time. This is what separated theory from reality. Inside, slight increase in fine clutch material. No large metal fragments. Magnet had normal accumulation. That's a good sign. It means no catastrophic wear acceleration. No internal breakage. No sudden clutch failure. But the clutch material was still shedding, slowly, which tells you this transmission is on borrowed time. Flush or no flush? What most people get wrong about flush damage. Most people blame the flush when a transmission fails. But in reality, one of 3 things is usually happening. The transmission was already worn out. The wrong fluid was used. The flush was done too aggressively. In our case, none of those applied. and the transmission survived. But not because it was strong, because it was just healthy enough. Real test data. Temperature, shift timing, wear. Let's break it down like a mechanic would. Before flush. Temp. Approximately 210 degrees Fahrenheit under load. Shift delay. Noticeable. Fluid condition. Degraded. After flush. 0 to 300 miles. Temp. Approximately 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Shifts. Smoother. Response. Improved. After 1,000 miles. Temp. Stable. Slight slip. Present. Wear. Gradual. Not accelerated. That's a realistic result. Not perfect. Not failure. And this is where most drivers make the wrong decision. They either panic and think the transmission is dying, or assume everything is fixed forever. Both are wrong. The smart way to handle a high mileage flush. If you're dealing with a transmission over 150,000, especially 200,000 plus, here's what actually works in the real world. Use a high-quality, compatible ATF. Avoid aggressive flush machines. Replace the filter. Reset adaptation if possible. Monitor behavior over 500 to 1,000 miles. And most importantly, understand that you're not restoring the transmission. You're stabilizing it. The hidden truth about lifetime transmission fluid. When we looked at the original fluid, it had clearly exceeded its usable life. Oxidation, shear, contamination. Yet the manufacturer calls it lifetime. Most people don't realize what that really means. Lifetime doesn't mean your lifetime. It means the expected lifespan under ideal conditions, often around 100,000 to 150,000 miles. After that, you're on your own. The real reason transmissions fail. When we tore deeper into this 250,000 mile unit, what we found wasn't shocking. It was predictable. Clutch packs worn close to minimum thickness. Seals hardened from years of heat cycles. Valve body showing light scoring. Nothing failed suddenly. Everything wore out slowly. And here's the key point. That wear didn't happen at 250,000 miles. It started much earlier, around 60,000 to 100,000 miles. When the fluid first began to degrade. Most people don't realize this. Transmission fluid doesn't just get dirty. It loses friction stability, heat resistance, shear strength. Once that happens, every shift creates slightly more wear. Not enough to notice right away, but over tens of thousands of miles, it adds up. I've disassembled transmissions that were never serviced, and by 120,000 miles, the wear pattern had already started. By 200,000, the damage was already done. The flush didn't cause it. It just showed you where you are. The myth that keeps costing people thousands. Here's the dangerous belief. If I don't touch it, it won't fail. That sounds safe. But in reality, it guarantees long-term wear. Because degraded fluid runs hotter, slips more, protects less. And that slow damage is what leads to torque converter failure, clutch pack burn, valve body wear, repairs that cost $3,000 to $8,000 plus. What we learned from this 250,000 mile test. Let's break it down clearly. The transmission did not fail after the flush, but it revealed existing wear. It improved short-term performance. It slightly exposed underlying slip. That's the reality, not the internet myth. When should you flush, and when should you not? This is the part most mechanics won't explain clearly. You should service or flush if shifts are still mostly stable. No heavy slipping. Fluid isn't burnt or full of metal. Mileage is high, but behavior is predictable. You should not flush if transmission is already slipping badly. Engagement is delayed severely. Fluid smells burnt. You see metal flakes in the pan. At that point, the transmission isn't dirty. It's worn out. And fresh fluid won't fix worn hardware. The safe strategy most long-lasting cars follow. If your goal is a 300,000 plus mile transmission, here's what actually works. First service around 50,000 to 60,000 miles. Then every 30,000 to 60,000 miles, depending on driving. Always use the correct specification fluid. Avoid overheating the transmission. I've seen vehicles follow this routine and reach 300,000 plus with original transmissions. Not because they were lucky, because they prevented wear early. What happens if you do nothing? Let's be honest. If you never service your transmission, fluid degrades, heat increases, wear accelerates, and one day it starts slipping. At that point, your options are limited. Drive it until it fails. Attempt a service and risk exposing wear. Replace or rebuild. That's the real choice. If your transmission has over 150,000 miles, you're not deciding whether to maintain it. You're deciding how much life is left and how you manage the risk. A flush isn't dangerous by itself. Ignoring maintenance for 200,000 miles is. If you like practical, real-world mechanic advice like this, the kind that can save you thousands, consider subscribing. Because most of what actually matters with cars, you're never told clearly.